So we're finally getting a Scream 5 update. It's not necessarily the best news I could have possibly heard, but it is news nonetheless, so we at least know that the wheels are turning and something is in the works here. We don't know what it is yet. Before we get into it, guys, if you are new here, I'm Zack. This is my face, this is my channel, and this is a place where we love to talk about all things Scream and horror movie related. So if you think you're in the right place, you might want to consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing the notification bell so you can stay up to date with all the Scream news as it comes in. We also do a lot of fun things like analysis and rankings. I just released a rankings of all 7 Ghostface killers. You can find that video right over here. Let me know in the comment section down below which actor would you be most excited to see make a return to the Scream franchise and potentially star in Scream 5. If you guys are enjoying this content, give this video a thumbs up. You know, it goes a long way in validating me. With that being said though, let's get right into it. You know, this movie was announced a little over a month ago, and then we had the rumor that the big 3, Neve, David, and Courteney, were all being optioned to come back, and we didn't know if that was true or not. But now we're finally hearing from at least 2 of them. Neve Campbell and David Arquette have spoken out about Scream 5 and the possibility of being in it. So starting with David Arquette, recently while being interviewed by MovieWeb regarding his new film coming out, Mobtown, he was asked about Scream 5 and essentially said that he has not received a call. He is very much down and gung-ho to return to these movies, to return to the character of Dewey. He wants to see it happen. I think he really badly wants this right now, but yeah, he is stating that he hasn't received a call. Now, whether or not this is true, we don't know, because based on the rumor that was circulating last month, that saying that they were already in talks to be in this movie, so it potentially they could have already signed a contract, but they're, you know, kind of sworn to secrecy. They've got some sort of confidentiality agreement that they have to adhere to until it's actually officially announced that they are returning to this movie. You know, he's saying that he has no reason to lie, that this is the absolute truth. He has not been reached. He's waiting by the phone. He wants to get that call. He has a lot of ideas of where his character can go from here. I guess during the filming of Scream 4, he had pitched a lot of ideas to Wes about what he wanted to see happening with Dewey and Gale, and apparently like they were gonna have a kid, and that never really came to fruition. So he's not sure if this is the route where he wants to see them, or if they're actually going to no longer be together like the actors are in real life, as they divorced not long after Scream 4. So yeah, we know that David Arquette definitely wants to do this movie. We just don't know if he's going to be asked to, or if he already has. And then Neve Campbell, who recently was speaking at Steel City Con and asked the exact same question, and to that she said the exact same thing. She has not received a call. And she's been saying the same thing over the last few years, where she, you know, doesn't see where this movie could go without Wes Craven, as he pretty much made these movies, and without his involvement it doesn't feel like it would be a Scream movie. But she does seem a little bit more receptive to the idea of coming back than she was maybe like 3, 4, or 5 years ago. And if you watched the video that I posted last month about the rumors of these actors returning, you would remember I did say that Neve Campbell is very protective of her character, and that's actually quite admirable, because she knows that, you know, anyone new can come along and acquire the rights to the Scream property and just, you know, shit all over it and do whatever they needed to do to make a solid buck. And she wants to make sure that she has no part of that. If she's going to be involved, it's going to be because the producers and the writer and director care about the character and the characters as much as she does and as much as the fans do. So she'd only return if it was going to be a solid effort on everyone's part. And I can get behind that. I respect that. But again, her saying that she hasn't received a call, I don't know if, she's just giving us the runaround, if they've actually already been in talks with Spyglass Media Group and they're all on board to go ahead with this. The script has already been written. We don't know any of that. We haven't gotten that information. So it's just hearsay. And if they're saying that we haven't been called and they're not actually involved, at this point, a month down the line, you have to wonder, well, what's been going on? Have they not been writing this? Have they not been writing it with Sydney, Dewey, and Gale in mind to be part of it? So it's hard to say at this point what information we're getting is true or not, especially from Neve Campbell, as in the past, when these new movies come out, especially Scream 4, to my recollection, she seemed to be the biggest holdout. I know that David and Courteney were already signed and they didn't know if she was going to be in it. And then, in the 11th hour, she came around and was like, yeah, I'm in this movie too. And a friend of mine was telling me that the same thing happened in Scream 3. And I honestly don't remember all the way back to the year 2000. But I do remember Scream 4. She was a holdout for a long time. So she could possibly be holding out again here. So we don't know if this is the case, and if they really want to get her, then they're gonna have to step up their game and make sure that they're making a movie that's worthy enough for her to step back into the role of Sidney Prescott. But because she is a little bit more positive tone about how she's talking about it makes me feel like maybe she is already involved and she has signed a contract and she is being highly secretive about this, and we're gonna get this huge reveal in the coming weeks or months, or maybe not till next year. But I'm still trying to be optimistic about this movie. I know it's been really hard for me, especially knowing that Wes Craven is not involved. There are definitely a lot of directors out there who, could be right for this property, and I'd like to see them try something new, but I don't want to see them just, throw anything at it. I really think that they need to work on this. And if they're gonna have these actors involved, it needs to be necessary for where this movie's going, for what the storyline is going to be, because it is very hard to think of where would these characters be at this point in time, if there really was the need for another sequel to tell their story. As Scream 4, as much as I love that movie, I really love Scream 4, but at the end of the day, it always just came off as them making another movie to me. The ending of it did not seem very final. There was a lot left open, but at the same time there was a lot closed, but not in a satisfactory way. I don't think that any of the big three had any major character arcs that transformed them over the course of that movie. Maybe Gale, as she was kind of this bored housewife in Woodsboro and then kind of got back in the game, but Dewey and Sydney, their characters haven't really evolved over the course of these movies. I think that Gale's character has greatly. She's the one that's changed the most. But if you go back and watch every movie, Sydney, Dewey, they don't really seem to be any different from the start of the movie to the end of the movie, with the exception of Scream 3. That was probably Sydney's biggest character arc, and oddly enough, the one movie that Kevin Williamson was not the writer of, and the one movie that was probably the least well received. But still, coming into a movie 24 years, 25 years if it doesn't come out till 2021, 25 years after the original, if they're not gonna bring these characters back for a good enough purpose that we're actually gonna see some some major shifts in this series, then I fail to see the point. I want to see them back, but there's got to be a purpose for them to be there. Anyway, I've been rambling on for so long, so I'm gonna wrap this up quickly. But again, guys, let me know in the comment section down below who you would be most excited to see return to this franchise. Do you think David Arquette and Neve Campbell are telling the truth? Have they not been called, or are they totally bullshitting us and they actually have, and they are going to be in this movie? Let me know that as well. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you love talking about Scream, listening to theories about Scream, and just horror movies in general. I haven't really ventured into a lot of other horror movies. I've been focusing a lot on Scream here, but there are a lot of other horror properties I want to talk about. Halloween, of course, love Michael Myers. The Nightmare on Elm Street series is coming back too. There's a lot of correlations there with Wes Craven as well that I want to talk about. But yeah, if you guys are interested in all that stuff, hit that subscribe button to keep up with me. I've been Zack Cherry, and I'll be right back.